Hey, what's going on out there? I would like to welcome every single one of you to Water Your Soil. So before I get into this video, I would like to say, if you're new around here, I have two rules over at this channel. The first rule is for you to always use your own discretion when it comes to credit cards and credit scores. The second rule, that's for you to verify everything that you learn, whether it's here on this channel, another channel, or anywhere. That should be a rule of life. So getting into this video is going to be about some new credit card news that came out this week. And this credit card news right here has politicians who normally have two opposing opinions actually agreeing on something. So this is one that you don't want to miss. You want to check out this article. Now, as these credit card news videos always work, I'll leave a link to the article in the description box. That way you could check it out after I'm done with this video, but I read through it and then I give my opinion. But before I get into reading the article, I would like to say welcome to the new thousands of subscribers that I got over at this channel. I welcome every single one of you. And I'm gonna be honest with you all, my videos have never gone viral like my previous video did. The video did over 130,000 views, and honestly, in the 4 years that I've been over here on YouTube, my videos have never done that. So it's just a testament of continuing to go, and no matter what you do, whether it's content creation or no matter what you do in life, let it be a testament for you to keep going no matter what hurdles and obstacles are thrown your way, because like I stated, 4 years and a video finally went off to that magnitude, and I appreciate every single one of you who laid eyes on that video. I really do. But without holding you up any longer, let's get right into the article. All right, so the article is by USA Today, and it reads, Sanders and Hawley introduce bill to cap credit card interest rates at 10%. And this article was published on February 4th, 2025 over at USA Today. Now, there has been talks in the past regarding capping interest rates and fees and things like that, but it's actually starting to become a movement. Like, there is actually some movement. And for those of you who are big on carrying balances, or maybe you're not big on carrying balances, but you're currently in credit card debt, capping late fees could have a big impact on you. And I know some of you have been anticipating this happening, but I'm going to give you my perspective on why it's a good thing. And I'm also going to play devil's advocate in this one and tell you how I want you all to progress going forward when it comes to this. But let's get further into the article. It reads, Senators Bernie Sanders, independent from Vermont, and Josh Hawley, Republican from Missouri, introduced a bill on Tuesday that will cap credit card interest rates at 10%, an effort by two lawmakers who rarely see eye to eye. Credit card interest rates refer to the fee a card issuer charges if a consumer doesn't pay off their credit card balance in full by a certain date. The average credit card interest rate is over 20% according to data from Bankrate. Now, as you can see, two senators who often have opposing views agreed that they want to cap interest rates at 10%. And as you saw from the article and as you read, and I've talked about this multiple times on this channel since we always tell the news, credit card interest rates are super high right now. They're well over 20%. And if you get into retail credit cards, a lot of them are over 30%. So in general, credit card interest rates are high and people are carrying over balances. So what they're attempting to do is put a cap on this. Now, I'm going to tell you all why this will impact people negatively on the back end, because as I always tell my subscribers, it's not all cotton candy and rainbows. Please believe for every action, there will be a reaction. So we're going to get further into it. And as I stated, I'm going to give my perspective after I get done with the article. So let's get further into it. Sanders and Hawley's bill comes after President Donald Trump vowed in the 2024 race to temporarily cap credit card interest rates at 10%. It says, quote unquote, when large financial institutions charge over 25% interest on credit cards, they are not engaged in the business of making credit available, Sanders said in a statement. They are engaged in extortion and loan sharking. We cannot continue to allow big banks to make huge profits ripping off the American people. Hawley said that the bill is, quote unquote, a simple way to provide meaningful relief to working people. The legislation would be in effect for 5 years, according to a press release. The proposal will likely face scrutiny among bank and credit card industry lobbyists. The American Financial Services Association, a national trade association for consumer credit industry, argued in a September statement that rate caps are quote-unquote unworkable and actually harm the consumers policymakers are trying to help by limiting the types of credit Americans depend on. It says, "We fully support pro-consumer policies that give consumers more choices and flexibility for their finances. But rate caps on credit products are not the solution American consumers need," they wrote. Credit card debt among Americans has only increased every year. The nation's credit card balance reached $1.17 trillion in the third quarter of 2024. If you're new around here, like a new subscriber, you're probably not familiar with the $1.17 trillion in credit card balances. And this is something that I always talk about. I'm sure some people like, hey, he's always mentioning that $1.17 trillion in credit card balances. That was in the third quarter of 2024. I gave a prediction previously in one of my videos where I said I expect that 1.17 trillion to at least hit $1.20 trillion in either the fourth quarter of 2024 or early 2025, because it's constantly growing up. I remember when it wasn't even $1 trillion yet. And I was talking about it approaching $1 trillion, and people were saying, hey, it'll change with the economy. But it's still going up. But nonetheless, they're talking about capping the interest on credit cards to 10%. And they're saying basically not having a cap on these credit card interest rates are hurting the American people. And I can agree with that. But I also can agree with the association that they mentioned in the article where they said it basically will be some kickback. And I always say this, if you go and you try to hit the banks in their pockets, they're going to find a way to make their money, because these banks, they're about profit. So the banks are going to find a way to make money. So let's say you go and you put that 10% cap on interest rates. Well, the banks are going to meet and they're going to say, hey, they're hitting us in our pockets where we can't charge interest above 10% because it's capped, and they're planning on capping it for 5 years according to the article. So the banks are going to get their money in another way. They'll get it from fees. They'll raise late fees. They'll reduce credit card rewards. They'll go up on annual fees, and they're going to get their money because these banks have to get their profit. My solution to all of this, and for all of you and myself, is for us to not carry over balances. Now, some of you are going to come by and you're going to argue. You're going to say, hey, well, we're not in a position where we can't carry over balances. We absolutely have to carry over a balance. Now, my logic, this is just my logic, and you all can insult me and you can get mad at me, but I'm here to tell the truth and get the truth out. My logic is you should not be using a credit card if you know you're not able to pay off what you spend. That's just me. Is that the standard? No, it's not the standard, because clearly America has $1.17 trillion in credit card debt imbalances right now. But for me and myself, and what I like to tell people who I help, and what I like to tell my subscribers is, don't purchase things that you know you will not be able to pay off in full. I'm a firm believer in paying off whatever I spend as far as my statement balance is concerned. And on the last video, some people came by and they had a question. Am I talking about overall balance, or am I talking about the statement balance? I'm referring to your statement balance. Whatever they give you as your statement balance, make sure that you are able to pay it off in full before your due date. And that should be on a month-to-month basis. If you know that you're in a financial deficit and you don't have the income coming in, or you're short for money, try to stay away from your credit card. Now, you're probably saying, hey, how are you a credit card channel and you're telling people to stay away from credit cards? Well, even though I'm a credit card channel, I'm also big on people not digging themselves in the financial hole when it comes to debt. If I know I'm not going to have the finances to go out and purchase something, whatever it may be, it could be $5,000, it could be whatever it is. If I know I'm not going to be able to pay that off when I receive my statement, I'm not going to go purchase it. Now, there are some cases where people have these 0% intro bonuses where they have a 0% APR for 18 months or 15 or 12. Then in those cases, it may be all right for you to carry balances. However, I was just watching a video the other day on YouTube where a woman, she was talking about her credit card debt, and she said she had a 0% APR intro bonus for her new credit card, but she didn't pay off the balance. And that happens a lot of time when people have these 0% APR intros. They end up charging, and they charge up a lot. They just about max out their credit limit, and then when it comes time for them to finally pay off that bill and finally pay off that credit card before the intro period ends, they're not able to do it. So then the interest starts. And as anyone knows, when it comes to credit card interest, it's going to add up quick. And those dollars add up quick and fast. And the longer it takes for you to pay off that balance, the more money you're paying that bank. So we'll see where this goes as far as the 10% cap on interest rates. I don't want any of you to leave this article thinking that it's set in stone, because it's not. It's something that was introduced, and we'll see how it goes. They're introducing it as a plan for 5 years. As I stated, we'll see. But don't get excited thinking that this means, hey, the American people are about to win, because as I stated, these banks always find a way to make their profit back. And the only way we can really combat that is to not carry over balances and to pay off whatever we spend. But that's just my logic and how I go about doing things when it comes to credit cards. And I encourage you all to do the same if you're able to. But anyways, for those of you who are new, because there's a lot of you who are new here, I have polls in my post section on the homepage of this Water Your Soil channel. Be sure to participate in the polls that I have. All you have to do is go to the post section and you'll see the polls that I have. Be sure to participate. But anyways, as I stated earlier, I welcome all of you. If you're new here and you're feeling the vibe, this is Water Your Soil. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, turn on all notifications. That way you don't miss a future video, because I post often. That's clicking on the bell and selecting all. Also, this goes to every single one of you, my subscribers included. Be sure to hit the like button. It literally takes 1 second. Hit the like button. That lets the algorithm know you support this video and this channel. I appreciate every single one of you for taking out the time to watch this video. This is Water Your Soil, and I'm out. What's going on? This is Nell from Water Your Soil. So as someone who went from a 549 credit score all the way up to the 800s, I decided to share the same information that helped me go from poor credit to excellent credit. This book is titled Strategies to Master Credit. I put everything in this book, everything that helped me go from poor credit to excellent credit. All of the information is in this book. So I want you all to purchase this book. A lot of you have already purchased it, but it's available currently right now on Amazon.com and also MasterCreditBook.com. It's titled Strategies to Master Credit. You want this book. It has all the information needed in order for you to go from poor credit to excellent credit, or just simply maintain your good or excellent credit score. So get the book ASAP. And if you want something more in depth, you could take the course over at www.wateryoursoil.com. It's more in depth. There are actually chapters in this course, and it walks you through basically how FICO credit scores come about and how they're determined. And really, once you learn how FICO scores come about and the concept of credit scores, then you're pretty much on your way to either going from poor credit to good credit, or just maintaining a good or excellent credit score. So if you want something more in depth, I have the course over at www.wateryoursoil.com. All right.